Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode in Around the World, where we go on a trip to discover the problems that affect our biological community and how we can eliminate and get the solutions of these problems. These problems that ruin our exquisite sphere of life. To start off, please welcome Mr. Yusuf Al-Shammar.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. And today I'll be talking about one of the largest human impacts on Earth's environment. I'll be talking about the pollution of rivers and seas, and which is also known as water pollution. Water pollution is basically the pollution of large bodies of water, such as rivers, lakes, seas, and oceans. And it occurs when pollutants are dumped directly or indirectly into the waters without removing any of the hazardous chemicals. What happened was, back in the 18th and 19th century, there were many factories that were flourishing due to an industrial revolution. People and factories helped contaminate the water together. They began dumping industrial waste, chemical waste, and raw sewage into the water, contaminating it. People relied on the rivers to be their water supply, and so therefore when they drank from it, they were affected by the diseases of typhoid and cholera. And this caused severe vomiting and diarrhea. However, there are many reasons for the contamination of bodies of water, such as oil spills, littering, industrial waste, sewage, and much more. What happens is that every time the water gets contaminated, marine life such as animals and plants, also including humans, get affected. Water pollution has gone too large to stop. However, you could have a positive impact on your environment. And here are some solutions that can help you stop water pollution. Within your home, save water and do not keep taps running. And do not dump any hazardous chemicals such as medications, oils, or paints down the drains and toilets. Apply filters to keep the water you drink clean for you and your family. And buy foods from organic farms. For organic farms, do not support any fertilizers or pesticides. Do not litter and recycle and dispose trash correctly. These are some solutions to help keep Earth's bodies of water clean. Thank you. That's all the time we have today. Back to you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf Al-Shammar. Now to Mr. Omar Al-Salawi.
Thank you for having me today. Today we are going to discuss a very important issue, which is ozone depletion. Ozone depletion is one of the causes of global warming. The ozone layer is a layer that surrounds the globe and acts as a shield towards the Earth, as it protects it from much ultraviolet rays that come from the sun and harm the Earth's atmosphere. And so the ozone layer keeps the Earth's atmosphere cool. So basically, ozone depletion is the decrease in the amount of ozone of the ozone layer. The ozone layer was first discovered in 1913 by the French physicist Charles Fabry. It was first discovered in 1913. The first ozone hole was seen in 1980, and its area was 3.27 million kilometers squared. And in 2007, the hole's area expanded to becoming 25.02 million square kilometers. In 2014, our latest records are that the hole's area is 24.1 million square kilometers, which means that the layer is healing itself. Of course, there are man-made actions that help increase in the depletion of the ozone layer. Some of these actions are the many fumes that are always produced by cars and factories. As the ozone layer is already healing itself, we as humans can help it heal faster by stopping pollution. Thank you, and now back to you, Muhammad Yasser.
Great information, Mr. Omar. Now with Ziad Khalil with the topic of extinction.
Hello, Mr. Hamma Yasser. It's an honor to be on your show and talk about a really important topic today, extinction. So what is extinction? Extinction is the end of a certain kind of creature from Earth. It is when the last organism of that kind is dead. Then the species is considered extinct. Actually, extinction started millions of years ago, before we humans came to Earth. There were 5 major extinctions on Earth called mass extinctions. Each extinction was responsible for the death of millions of species. One of the most important and known mass extinction was the extinction of dinosaurs. All the 5 mass extinctions that occurred on Earth were all for natural reasons, such as volcano eruptions, asteroids, etc. Today we are experiencing extinction, but as a cause of human activities, and not as a cause of natural reasons. Many human activities result in the reduction of population of species, such as habitat destruction, overexploitation, pollution, and diseases. Many scientists have begun claiming that the 6th mass extinction is underway. Animals are going extinct 100 to 1000 times faster than the normal extinction rate. You're probably wondering how animal extinctions affect us. Animals are very beneficial to humans in many different ways. The simplest effect of animal extinction would be the loss of food sources. If something in the food chain went extinct or endangered, it would affect many other animals' food sources, which eventually will affect us humans as we eat many different kinds of animals. Medicines are also brought from plants. These plants rely on insects for pollination and reproduction. If the insects went extinct, us humans would be in big trouble. We would lose medicine, which may cause a higher death rate to us. Also, if certain animals go extinct, it would affect our economy and can cause job losses for people. These people would mostly be the honey producers, fishermen, hunters, etc. You're possibly wondering, how can we stop this? How can we stop extinction? There are many ways to stop it. We humans must stop habitat destruction, which is the major human activity that causes extinction. There are also many organizations to help with stopping extinctions, and you as a person can help these organizations. Countries should create laws preventing hunting endangered animals. Contributing to this will not only help you, but the many generations yet to come. Thank you, Mr. Hamma Yasser. for having me on your show. It was an honor and I hope it helped.
Thank you, Mr. Ziad Khalil. Great performance. Now, for the last interview, Mr. Joseph Khalid.
Hello, and thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor, really. Well, the problem I'm going to be talking about, or the topic I have spent a quarter of my life looking in and specializing that, goes by the simple name of sewage. Well, what is sewage? Well, let me tell it, or put it this way. When you enter the restroom to wash your hands, wash your face, shower, or produce waste, the water you use becomes polluted. It cannot be used again at that time, as it isn't clean anymore. So the wastewater we produce is known as sewage. These waters are flushed or drained or washed into sewers, where they are transported by the sewage system into the place of sewage works. Now, what happens to the sewage waters? Actually, in our modern days, we get these polluted liquids and send them through many levels to purify them, to have them accessible for another rotation of usage, as we're familiar with the term recycling.
But what if we do not treat the sewage? Well, as humans we do need water in our daily lives, and we use it all the time. However, people in developing countries dump 95% of their untreated urban sewage into the same lakes and rivers they use for drinking and bathing, according to the United Nations. So, did you know that interactions with untreated sewage causes diarrheal diseases which kill millions every year, especially young children? In 2004, a study by the Population Research Center found that 2.2 million infants die each year from diarrhea, caused by unclean water, which is related to sewage disposal. According to their estimates, polluted water in Africa and India causes 1.4 million deaths each year by diarrheal diseases such as cholera and dysentery.
But why? Why, you may ask? Why all this process for waste products that we could just throw into the streets and just leave them there? Well, ancient civilizations did the same, as known in medieval Europe, or at the time of the Middle Ages. Unwanted trash was just thrown into the streets, where people used to walk in and breathe the smells normally. Well, day by day, as the waste products increased, problems started to show up. First of all, you need to understand that the sewage are sources of bacterial contamination and diseases. In simpler English, these dumps of waste thrown to the streets were places where bacteria and insects would gather and grow, causing diseases to start and spread easily. And this caused death, obviously, and no one likes to die, am I right? Okay, however, in a particular city in Europe, by the name of Venice, where the streets are filled with water, and as they practice the same concepts of Europe, as they are a city in Europe, they threw their wastes into the water. However, the waters in the streets pushed these wastes into the sea, twice daily. As people witnessed that for a period of time, they started to think, and they had an idea, and they developed underground sewer canals that do the same function as the waters in the streets. So this started the sewage treatment plants, or the getting rid of sewage, to eliminate sewage or waste products or diseases and bacteria to be living in the same environment as we live in the cities that we work on and live in daily. So we live in a clean environment and the sewage goes to another part of the planet or another part of the country. So we live a clean, peaceful life. However, that doesn't only happen. The sewage that leaves our cities don't just be thrown away. Well, they are renewed, they are purified, and they are recycled and come back to our cities to be reused one other time. Because as you know, no water enters from space and no water leaves from Earth. So all the water you can think of basically is recycled.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Now, unfortunately, this is all the time we have. Thank you, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Omar Salawi, Mr. Yusuf Shamma, and Mr. Ziad Khalil for being on our show and giving us this important information that would help us encourage and help our sphere of life, the blue earth we live on. Thank you in the show Around the World, and see you next week.